The times, they are a-changin'. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that could never be made today. For this list, we're looking at comedy movies that were once considered funny, but would face backlash and controversy if they were made in today's socio-political climate. We're not saying they shouldn't be made, but given everyone's hypersensitivity, they probably wouldn't. We won't be including movies that are openly controversial and provocative, like 1915's Birth of a Nation. Those types of movies should never have been made, even back then. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Baby, for snow, yes. Baby, you like it. Cocoa on my lips. Don't know how to grill. Mommy on my wrist.
Number 10, Borat.
My name is Borat. I like you.
Few comedy films get as big as Borat. It made over $260 million at the box office and became a bona fide cultural phenomenon.
What type of dog is this?
This is a tortoise.
You couldn't walk down the street without hearing "very nice" from some corner or another. Heck, some of us are still saying it. But there's no way this thing could be made today.
But is it not a problem that a woman have a smaller brain than a man?
Borat makes fun of feminists, dresses and acts like a stereotypical black gang member, and absolutely detests Jews, believing them responsible for 9/11 and having the ability to shapeshift into woodlice. We can practically see the incensed headlines in our minds.
How you say, how do you do?
What's up with it?
What's that with it?
Yes, it is satire, but in today's political landscape, satire seems to be lost on a lot of people. Number 9, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. This movie assumes that being gay is funny. No, really, that's like 90% of the movie. It stars Adam Sandler and Kevin James, a winning combination, as two straight firefighters who pretend to be a gay couple to receive health benefits.
Larry, look at us. We're not gay. But if we were gay, don't you think I'd be with someone a little hotter looking than you?
As you can imagine, the movie is filled to the brim with tasteless gay stereotypes. And unlike Borat, they aren't even funny.
Anything else you feel you need to say there?
I handle with care.
Okay, Ron. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'd be happy to come in through the back door.
I'm sure you would.
Granted, the movie was screened for GLAAD before release, and while they acknowledged some of the expected stereotypes, they also called it a surprising, quote, call for equality and respect.
So wrong!
No, it's not about right or wrong, or gay or straight.
And if you think this movie consists simply of tasteless gay jokes, think again. Rob Schneider also does Yellowface. 2 controversies in one. Number 8, Porky's. Yes, teen sex comedies are still being made today, but none are on the level of Porky's.
Gentlemen, this is Miss Cherry Forever.
Even in its day, Porky's was openly criticized for being misogynistic, sexist, and degrading to women. And that was in 1981. Just imagine the backlash it would face today. The entire plot revolves around a group of horny teens who plot revenge against a nightclub owner for denying them his prostitutes. In short, these are not lovable protagonists.
Well, it looks like to me we got 5 Angel Beach here.
And it only gets worse from there, featuring tons of derogatory language and actions that make the guys seem like total sleazeballs.
I'll have you fired for moral turpitude.
Even the poster shows a man peeping at a naked woman in the shower. Charming American Pie, this is not. Number 7, The Ringer. Developmental disabilities are better understood and more widely accepted today than they were in 2005. So laughing at them isn't really, well, a laughing matter anymore. At least not for a mainstream Fox film.
It's a huge Latin word, symptomus, moronicus,
Jeffy, highly functioning, developmentally disabled.
This movie sees Johnny Knoxville pretending to be developmentally disabled for 90 minutes. And most of the film's humor revolves around the way he acts and the silly things he says.
Oh, see you rotten hell!
Even though the movie seems to be laughing at the disabled, it's actually doing the opposite. The movie treats the real disabled with care and respect.
Just good people and bad people. There's no gray areas.
The joke is on Knoxville's character, not on the things he does. But that doesn't matter. There's no way this would be made today, good intentions or not. Number 6, Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom wouldn't be made today. Not because it's offensive, but because times and customs have drastically changed since 1983.
Romano, Swiss, you have your entire cheddar family.
Can you run the hams back one more time? I just want to.
This John Hughes-penned movie stars Michael Keaton as Jack Butler, a laid-off Ford employee who turns into a stay-at-home dad while his wife returns to work. And that's about it. Most of the jokes stem from, haha, dad doesn't know how to raise kids, which is woefully outdated today.
I yelled at Kenny today for coloring outside the lines. Megan and I are starting to watch the same TV shows, and I'm liking them.
To make matters worse, the movie ends with Jack returning to work and his wife returning to the homestead, a so-called happy ending that suggests the normality and status quo order of a working father and stay-at-home mom.
You quit your job?
I didn't like that job. I'm gonna get another job, a better one. Anyway, I miss my family.
Geez, the early 80s really were a different time. Number 5, Manhattan. Even ignoring the controversy surrounding Woody Allen, there's no way Manhattan would be made in today's Me Too political climate. The entire premise of the movie is that the 42-year-old Isaac Davis is dating a 17-year-old college woman.
I mean, that kind of thing's gone out of date.
Yeah, the movie directly addresses this problem through its characters and themes, but it's the fundamental core of the relationship itself that would be extremely problematic today.
When you're 17 now, when you're 36, I'll be...
Some people find the movie's premise to be creepy, and various outlets like the New York Times have written about its problematic nature in the socio-political landscape of the late 2010s.
Gee, now I don't feel so good.
If we're retrospectively condemning a movie, we can't imagine it getting past a pitch meeting now. Number 4, Revenge of the Nerds. The early 80s were a terrifying time for the teen sex comedy. Between this and Porky's, it's clear that some people had it out for women. Revenge of the Nerds sounds like some harmless B-movie, but it is anything but.
Nerds! Nerds! Nerds!
Come on, Louis, let's go.
Today, some people would probably view it as an incel revenge fantasy, as it follows a small group of outcast nerds who seek revenge against the popular jocks and sorority girls.
Their action tonight demands an immediate retaliation.
It was lambasted on release for its harmful attitudes towards black people and women, as it is full of racist stereotypes and creepy vibes.
Hold it, Coach! You just hold it right there.
Both the director and writer have grown to regret the infamously problematic scene where a masked nerd deceives an unsuspecting woman into having intercourse. Number 3, Animal House. Animal House is not only the precursor to the scatological teen comedy genre, but it's arguably also the greatest example of it.
I heard Delta's the worst house on campus.
But that's not to say it's aged well. As the name suggests, Animal House is essentially one long college party, and it presents all the insanity and debauchery you'd expect from a late 70s college comedy. Characters drink and drive, take advantage of drunk and passed out women, casually look up skirts, abuse diet pills, and even have sex with a 13-year-old girl. These are all problematic, of course, but that latter point really would not fly today.
From which we have received 24 reports of individual acts of perversion so profound and disgusting that decorum prohibits listing them here.
All these were passed off as jokes in the late 70s, but you wouldn't see many laughing at them today. Number 2, Soul Man. It's clear that blackface has no place in comedy nowadays. In 1986, however, it wasn't so taboo.
Harvard Law School. It's the opportunity of a lifetime.
The entire premise of Soul Man involves a spoiled white kid pretending to be black to ride on a Harvard scholarship exclusive to African Americans.
Do you go to Harvard too? It's a great school, isn't it? Just the best?
The movie's heart is in the right place, as it wants to expose the kid's limited worldview and raise awareness of prejudice and racism in America. But the issue of blackface doomed it from the very beginning. It faced an enormous amount of controversy and received horrible reviews from critics, many of whom called it unfunny and wildly offensive. If it couldn't fly in 1986, it's definitely not flying now.
Sarah, wait a minute.
There he is
You don't
again.
understand.
Stand back.
Shut up, Dad.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is arguably Mel Brooks' masterpiece and one of the funniest movies ever made. And much like Borat, most of its jokes stem from biting satire and deliberately provocative humor.
Son, you're on your own.
And also like Borat, there's no way it would be released today. Characters openly joke about gay people and casually abusing women, various derogatory terms and attitudes are used against Asians and black people, and a particularly offensive word flies like you wouldn't believe.
Sheriff, Mongo's back. He's breaking up the whole town. You've got to help us, please.
Did you hear that? Now it's please.
Of course, all these jokes are performed with a fiercely satirical edge and are not to be taken seriously. But let's be honest, they might have been taken that way today.
Sheriff, you can't go now. We need you.
The work here is done. I'm needed elsewhere now.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.
Money on my wrist. Bring on the aqua. What's it gonna be? You're right for me now. Baby, for snow.